Hey! Oh my god, that's loud. What's up, y'all? How we doing today? Happy Friday. What is that? Oh yeah, what time is it? 12:18. This is pretty late as far as starts go. My bad. I was trying to get... Hold on, I gotta grab my water. I was trying to get my multi-stream set up here. I'm hoping that it's working. I see one person from YouTube chatting, so hopefully that means I'm going to both. How's the volume, y'all? We good? We chilling? Everyone excited for the weekend? I know I am. We got a good boy in town, friend of ours, who I'm excited to hang out with after this. I got some work to do, some freelance after this. Alright, cool. We got a couple people from YouTube in here. What's up, y'all? Hell yeah. How we doing? Oh, someone was asking the OST. This is... I'm really sorry, CP. That's rough. This is, I mean, kind of the reason I put the stream at this spot is because it works really well for, like, my Friday schedules. So unfortunately, I'm probably gonna have to keep it around here. But, you know, hopefully this Until 1 is, like, a solid experience. What was I gonna say? Oh, OST. This is Voyage of Promise from Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night. Yeah, this is, I mean, the reason that I do it at noon is because a lot of the US audience, I think, who's interested can get at it. And also the European audience can do it as well. Yeah, Australia is basically donked. There's just no way for them, unfortunately, unless they're up super late. Yo, thank you for the sub, Bambi. Thanks very much. Evening, Wildlanders. Chill. Alright, I mean, honestly, we can dive... I'm hoping this means that the YouTube stream quality will be good enough that I don't have to upload the VOD myself. Oh, I should start recording, speaking of. Just in case. Yo, what's up, VOD watchers? Just in case this actually does not just save to YouTube at a good quality. Oh, you're very welcome. Alright, let's dive into it sooner rather than later, because I do have some freelance that I gotta do today, so I'm probably not gonna be able to do, you know, like the standard 3 hours. Today, guess what? We're going to talk a little bit, just very briefly. I've been getting a lot of questions about what the religion overhaul, part of like 1.2.0, is going to look like, so I wanted to talk about that. I guess I can also just, you know, announce that 1.1.6, the hotfix that is coming out before 1.2.0, is in the hands of the team. We have a release candidate that I haven't tested tremendously thoroughly, you know, like the actual build or the Wabjack file itself, but it should be okay, and some of the team is testing that now. I'm hoping that, you know, they won't find any major problems, so as soon as we can clear that for release, that's going to go out to you guys. The, you know, release date, estimated time of arrival would be soon, trademark. Yeah, Lizzie, I know that you're not. Excuse me. Lizzie's been hard at work on the missive stuff, so she's going to be taking a break. Well deserved. And I'm going to be doing a fair amount of testing myself just to make sure everything's chill. But, you know, I mean, worst case scenario, if something's broken after release, we can always fix it. And, yeah, so that's cool. You guys are going to get a sick bunch of hot... In fact, actually, here, why don't I do this? Let me show off all the fixes that are going in. Just right quick before we dive into the religion discussion. And then, after that, we're going to be going through mod suggestions. And I'm actually going to try and get a fair amount of them in today. Don't quote me. Let's see here. Issues. Epics. Whoopsie. Hold on. Promises, promises. It's true. Promises aren't worth shit. Actions. Actions are what matter. Alright, here. So we got, this is probably a little bit tiny. Here we go, let's zoom in a little bit. So this is 1.1.6. We've got, is there like an easy way to see the issue count here? Order by, oh, here you go. In progress, so this says 69 out of 139. What that actually means is that all of the ones in blue are set to testing. They should be solved anyway. The ones that I have set to testing versus done are just ones that, you know, I would like to test just a teensy bit more before we, you know, confirm them. Do I know off the top of my head how big the Wildlanders are? Yes, it is approximately, in total, if you count the Skyrim, vanilla Skyrim files, if you count the downloads and you count the installed file size, it's about 115 gigs. You can reduce that after you install by deleting the like 40 or so gigabytes of downloads, right? And like you can do that. It just means that you'll have to re-download all of the downloads every time you update. So 135. No, it's lower now actually, Lizzie. Well, 135. What are you talking about, Willis? I mean, it should be a little bit more optimized for 1.1.6, but it's even this one shouldn't be 135. Here, let me see. We got, let's go my MO2, so my downloads folder is 45 gigs. That's about 1.1. I mean, 1.1 might have been, but there's been a lot of, I think, reductions like since then. Let's see. We got, I mean, maybe you're right. You might know better than I would. Let's see. We got mods folder is, actually, here's what we should use. So we got 45 there. Let's go to the stock game setup from the stager. The mods folder is, let's let this populate. Come on, baby. Wow, basically 70, I mean on disk, 70 gigabytes. So that's 115. And then the stock game folder is 7. So what is that? I guess also, because then, like, we still have Skyrim, so 7 plus, what is Special Edition? How big is this folder? 14. Okay, well, I mean, that's closer to 135. This is annoying that it's like this. Do I... Oh, well, whatever it is. So something like that. Somewhere in the ballpark. We'll just say 130, 135 to be safe, but hopefully less. You can also technically you don't need the Skyrim vanilla files after you've installed Wildlander. I mean, you can keep them if you want to use something that utilizes it or play vanilla, but technically you don't need it. So there's a couple different ways to like reduce the file size once you're installed. Versions what X major content wise fixes an already existing mod. So the semantic versioning xenomorph is you have, what is it? The first number is major content, second number is minor content, and then the third number is like patches and bug fixes. Some, like, there are a couple new features that are included in 1.1.6, like the sneak wheels in there, which I'm probably going to retool a little bit. I got some really good feedback on that. But I'm not going to retool that for 1.1.6. And then we got, let's see. Oh, the Shadow Draw Call mod. So I still need to test it a lot more. I'm credited in the what's it called? On the mod page, because that's Doodles' mod, and I'm credited for complaining about draw calls, which I definitely do because they're a pain in the butt. I need to test it more. It's the kind of thing where it's a pretty big change to kind of how, you know, the performance is handled, so I need to test it. I did throw it in there and play with it a little bit. It seemed really cool, but I'm not really comfortable putting it in 1.1.6 unless I had more time to test with it. So if it's going to go in, it's probably going to be in 1.2.0. It's not a guaranteed inclusion, I would say. Again, we really need to test it to make sure it, you know, does what we need to do and stably for everybody. We'll see. Next thingy. Oh, well, okay. I guess we can look at these. Really, you guys can probably... You know what? Well, I don't know how interesting this is. You'll be able to see it when it's in the changelog, but suffice to say, there's a lot of fixes here. I can't remember exactly how many was in 1.1.0, but as far as like patches go, this is a fucking big one. That's for sure. It's probably got almost as many fixes as 1.1 did. And I'm pretty stoked about it, so I think it's going to be a good solid base to play on, and it should be save safe, so you should be able to update and then play your same saves. Are there new quest mods on the horizon for Wildlander? I understand this is likely a fact. It is a frequently asked question, David. It's like the answer's sort of yes. Like, there's some quest mods that I think would fit, that I probably would not hesitate to add in the future. Things like Undeath, right? What else? Undeath is honestly the only one that comes to mind where I feel like I could add it with like relative ease. The thing about it is that, like, I'm working on some really crazy systems changes, we'll say. And kind of the religion update is the first in what we'll call kind of, it's almost like it's like an experimental test run for a style of system overhaul, we'll say. So I'm really excited about Religion, and then I've been working on some really crazy systems changes, the design portion of it in the background, and if I'm honest, unless something like Undeath and its patches were like super plug and play, which is tough because Wildlander has a lot of custom systems that make it so things are rarely like plug and play, right? But maybe, like, I wouldn't mind, you know, tossing something like that in there. The problem is, like, I consider that far, far less important than the systems changes that I have planned, because I consider the impact on gameplay experience that the quest mods will provide to be significantly less than these systems changes that I'm talking about. So, with that said, there are quest mods that I might put in, Undeath being one of them for sure. Oh my god, I'm using, what's it called, like the chat widget from Restream, and I cannot see shit on here, unfortunately. Who is that? Dwaggle. We're going to be looking at a bunch of different mods, and we are going to talk, well, okay, let's, oh yeah, Behind the Curtain. Behind the Curtain, so that's Behind the Curtain and the Religion. Okay, Behind the Curtain is an example of what I would call like a systems tweak, right? It's like, what's a good example of this? It kind of takes what's already there and tweak. It's like a, you know, let's use, I think it edited Standing Stones as an example, right? Standing Stones were different. Okay, before I kind of like bullshit here, not like it really matters one way or the other, but okay, cool. Standing Stones. So Behind the Curtain, for those of you who don't know, was like an add-on, like an expansion that a modder made for Requiem, and one of the things it would do is kind of expand on these existing systems. So something like Standing Stones, for example, it changed the effects. It like made them a little bit different. It made them, I think, a little bit more scalable or something. I can't really remember, but it was basically like it's a tune, right? What I'm talking about is, and what the Religion system is, and this can kind of be our segue into talking very briefly about, you know, kind of how I plan to structure the Religion system. And I'm going to talk more about this in like the Patreon post, the official kind of, you know, what is it, August update. But, you know, since we're all here, we can talk about it. The Religion changes are an example of what I would comparatively call like an overhaul. It's not just I'm not taking the existing blessings and like how they work in the game and like kind of adjusting them a little bit. Like, we're pretty fundamentally changing like how Religion works, right? It's an entirely different mechanic. It's an entirely different way of approaching the concept of worship and like the concept of divines. Yes, August update at the end of August is still technically August. Thank you very much. You have like so there's two primary components to the Religion system as it's very likely going to be implemented. One is we need a way for people to worship anywhere they want, right? Like worship mechanics, or like, maybe I shouldn't call it worship anywhere. Worship as a time sink, perhaps, is the best way to do it. You see this kind of thing precedented in mods like, I'll show you, Religion, and then of course Winter Sun. So we can bring these in here, kind of use them as a basis for this discussion, right? So everyone's familiar, whoops, what the heck, with Winter Sun. Stop selecting multiple tabs. There we go. We'll start here. This is Enai Sion. I don't never known how to pronounce Enai's full handle. Enai's Religion mod, right? Now, Winter Sun's really cool for a couple of reasons. One is that it does add this kind of prayer and worship mechanic, which to me is a core component of this system. And two, it's got, you know, hella variety of all these different, you can worship, you know, divines, Daedric princes. You've got other pantheons here. Yeah, elven ancestors. You've got the Yokudan pantheon, Khajiit. This shit's nuts. Miscellaneous deities. This is rad, right? The issue... Well, okay. Let's go to religion real fast. Oh, okay. It's hard to know exactly which way to, you know, what angle to discuss this from. The issue with something like Winter Sun, I can show you, is one that it's, you know, it's quote unquote balanced for vanilla, and that's a... I bet it's not even super... It's what... When you say balance for vanilla, it's kind of like a misnomer anyway, because like vanilla technically I suppose has a balance, but it almost doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It's like, what even is vanilla? I bet you Winter Sun is pretty insane, even for vanilla, because that's generally how a lot of these Enei mods go. They're a lot more focused on fun and variety, I would say, than they are balance. I love fun and I love variety. I also love balance. Balance is very important to me. So one of the issues with something like Winter Sun is that all of these effects are like crazy unbalanced for Requiem or for Wildlander, right? It's just absolutely nuts. So there's like a thing. And then you have something like religion over here. Oh, here's an important bit. So you got this prayer and worship thing, right? We got to read this. It says, use the pray power to kneel and enter a meditative state. Great. Raising your favor and displaying your current favor. Cool. While you can pray as often as you wish, praying at least once a day is sufficient to raise your favor as fast as possible. There is no additional benefit to repeatedly praying in quick succession or praying for long amounts of time. That's a no-go for us. That's going to be a problem. We need a time sink, right? I want prayer to be something that you can spend time doing. It's part of the roleplay. To me, it's not very ecclesiastic. It's not very, you know, monk-ish, right? To pray, to have, you know, let's say that I take a knee, you know, for the big guy upstairs, whether it's Akatosh or RK or Dibella or fucking Shay Gorath, whatever. And it's like, all right, I'm good for the day. You know what I mean? That's, we're done. That's for roleplay for me. That's not, I can understand why it's designed that way for what it's trying to do. That's not really what I'm trying to do. Let's contrast that with religion, who is by our longtime fave, Iron Dusk, the author behind mods like Spell Research and Train and Study. I know that me saying Spell Research is going to freak out some people, but I promise it's not nearly as intense as that mod. I'll kind of summarize this for you, but the way that worship works in religion is kind of the way you might imagine based on this discussion. You can start worshiping, you can pass time while you are doing that, right? So in all fairness to Winter Sun, you get a lot more favor from action than prayer. That is still the case in this mod. In fact, you can see it here. Here, worshiping or praying to a deity will slowly increase their disposition towards you. The amount of in-game time you spend at a shrine will determine your disposition. Remember, you can press T to wait and blah, 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 blah. You can increase how effective your worship is by wearing equipment related to the deity you are worshiping. Cool. I think Winter Sun might have a component for that. And worshiping in locations related to that deity. Also cool, and I also think Winter Sun has a component or a version of that. However, it will still likely take several in-game weeks of worship to make any significant progress with the deity, so you're expected to worship your deity while you are on your holy/heretic adventures, rather than replacing your quests outright. Remember, your actions will always outweigh your words. So that's important. It's still the case. That's, you know, it's an important component. But it does kind of establish and frame worship as this, like, fun secondary part of it. And it's just, it's so much, it's that marriage of roleplay and gameplay, right? You can just picture someone, like, you know, it's like, hey, I get home at a day of adventuring or whatever I've been doing, and I'm in my house, or I'm at the inn in my room, and I'm just saying, you know, a little bit of prayer to, you know, whoever it is, prayer to my man Stendar, or to Lady Dibella, or whatever. and then I go to bed, and it's, you know, the next day. Or, yeah, as a more kind of like intense expression of this, you know, I'm a straight up religious devotee who is, you know, going on a pilgrimage to far-flung, natural, you know, secluded groves so that I can worship my Lady Kinnereth, you know, and really show her the dedication that I have. Meanwhile, I'm using that area as a base. I'm living weeks at a time at this, like, you know, essentially shrine to Kinnereth that I've created. And then going out during the day and doing other stuff, and then coming back and living and breathing this, you know, monk lifestyle, almost, you might say. These are the kinds of things that we're trying to allow here. One of the other cool things about religion, so, I mean, if it's not clear, I would really like religion to kind of serve as the basis of this system that I'm building, right? Because it does so much of what I would already like to do already, and I think that's going to be, you know, really fun to utilize. However, the thing about religion is that it's not complete. It was last updated on the 6th of June, 2019. And there are a few things that I know Iron Dusk has not yet implemented. They're basically the... Oh, okay, sorry. So that's the component 1, right? There's 2 components of this. I can't, before I go any further, I can't skip component 2. Component 1 is this concept of worship and yada yada. Component 2 is progression and scalability. This is probably this is also actually coincidentally your biggest kind of hint into some of the systems changes that I have planned, but it's very important to me that a religion mechanic, like any other mechanic in the game that's part of your character building and your character roleplay, there has to be a sense of progression here. There has to be a sense of scalability. Shrines as they are now are almost like these, like a choose your flavor of ice cream. You know what I mean? You go and you pick your favorite shrine, and you get whatever bonus it has, and it's like, oop, I'm an Akatosh guy because I touched the shrine. Not really for me. What I want is something, and this is something that both Religion and Winter Sun both do, and I think it's amazing. Yeah, actually what Ian just said, exactly this. Also, I see this question, mod Shadow of Skyrim. Yes, I have seen that. It looks very cool. I have not, you know, dove in. Also, yo, what the fuck? I'm missing... Why am I not hearing these alerts? My bad, y'all. Thank you, Connor, for 27 months, and thank you, Mad Villain, for 12 months. Thanks very much, guys. Yeah, so you need this scalability component. There has to be a sense of progression to it. Generally speaking, the way that it's tied in both of these is that as you build your favor, you know, essentially receive more pragmatic impact from the deities that you worship. I think that's really cool. I think that's a really important core component of how I would like, you know, this system to work. So those are the main 2 kind of, we'll call them core design pillars. Getting back into religion, this mod, which we'll essentially use as a framework, right? The issue, quote unquote, with religion is that some of these different, you know, pantheon people are not yet completed. You'll find a few of these, like Sithis has one, more to be added still. All the rest of these, I believe, are more to be added. I believe the constellations are finished, and this is like interesting too, because constellations are a little different than the other deities. Every kind of group of deity gets its own particulars in religion, which is really fun, I think. Really what that boils down to is that the divines, as kind of precedented by lore, are a little bit more passive in terms of their boons, you might say. Not entirely. There's some pretty crazy shit in here. I won't spoil it for you guys. If you want to check it yourself, you can. And also, any of the effects that you see are certainly not guaranteed. This is something I'm kind of get into once we talk about several of these mods, kind of my plan for the overarching implementation. So consider this the introduction. But yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff that they can do, and you can worship multiple divines, which I think is really cool. It's precedented in lore, it's precedented in life. One of the things about Winter Sun's framework is that I believe you can only worship one deity at a time, which, you know, I'm sure not mechanically, logistically makes sense, just if, you know, you're designing it that way, unless you designed the worship specifically to be, you know, multiple. What's the word for multiple deity worship? There's a word for that. I can't remember. Multi-theistic. Something like polytheistic. That's what it is. On the other hand, you have the Daedric lords here, who, you know, we all know the fucking Daedra. They don't mess around. They're crazy, they're evil, they're fickle, they're impulsive. Mechanically, the Daedra are a lot more likely to get pissed off if they discover that you're trying to, you know, two-time them, and you're both the champion of Clavicus Vile and the champion of Hircine, we'll say. So there's some consequences for that, which I think is really cool. Also, Daedric Lord, you know, if we kind of drill down into how I feel like each type of divine should play, the Daedric Lords here, it perfectly fits my kind of ideal implementation. You have these comparatively, I think, a lot more powerful and more intense boons, we'll say, but there's also significant consequences at times if you know, do something that upsets the Daedra, or, I mean, frankly, I think in some cases if the Daedra's just not having a good day, you know what I mean? So you have that, which I think is really fun. I think the Daedra worship, as it does in the game world and as it does in lore, I think should represent this kind of high risk, high reward. So that's fun. There's all kinds of shit like that. So that's kind of our basic, you know, pitch, we'll say, right? Now, with all of that said, Winter Sun and Religion are, of course, not the only religion mods out there. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna open this up. We're gonna go. I will show you guys the. Hold on. The other religion mods that have been requested and recommended. Let's see. Here we go. This should be all three kind of major ones that I know of. So here's some big ones, right? Pilgrim Religion Overhaul, Requiem Immersive Divine Blessings, Requiem Divines and Daedra. This is by Simon, this is by SNBCJ, and this is by our friend Forn. These, okay, Pilgrim is Simon, is it Simon Magus? Who can say? Let me catch up on this before I continue. This music just shut off suddenly? Video pause, continue watching. Yo, thank you for 15 months, Prince Wolfchild. Okay, these alerts are coming in super quiet. I don't know if that's just for me. I certainly cannot hear them. I don't know what's going on there. I'll figure it out later. Oh, well, so city expansion is a definite high priority. Call that after some of these systems changes. City expansion is really gnarly, and by expansion I don't mean like how do I put it? Also, okay, if I'm going to talk about this for a quick second, which I would like to, remind me that the last thing we were going to do is talk about Pilgrim and then IDB and Divines and Daedric. I will forget. My brain is easy to split, as y'all probably know by now. The thing about city expansions is that I'm really looking for mechanical significance versus like decoration, we'll say. In fact, there is too much decoration in Wildlander right now, which is a fancy way of saying there's too many draw calls. There's too many objects being kind of, you know, drawn on screen. It causes performance issues. That's going to be a huge focus. So that kind of stuff, almost like a fluff, you would say, is going to be pared down quite a lot. The scale of the cities is, well, yeah, that's not a bad way to put it, CP. The expansion meaning breadth, in the sense that we want to expand the scale. I want to expand the scale of these cities. I want to give you more places to kind of explore. I want to make the cities feel, you know, bigger and realer. And the reason that I'm even kind of considering this is because there's a lot of mods that have come out in the past, we'll say 3 years, that do this in a very cool way, in my opinion, at least from my testing. Solitude and Whiterun especially have just really insane options. There are also more and more options coming out for the other cities all the time. I've never seen Whiterun Metropolis. I don't know what that is. In fact, I can look at it. Let's see here. Metropolis. Whiterun Metropolis. Let's see here. Give me these images. Ah. I wonder. Yeah, so something like this, and I know that there's some that kind of expand this area out in front. There's a lot of different mods that kind of do stuff here. I've not looked at this one, and I'm not familiar with the mod author either, so I would need to kind of go and evaluate. The difficulty, of course, with anything of this sort is that you really got to be careful with draw calls and whatever. But I'd like to think we're pretty good at handling those sorts of things now. So, you know, you never know. Anyway, city expansion, yeah, super cool. You know, connecting it with the sewers and just giving people ways to just do a bunch of cool, interesting shit. Even if they're just staying in the cities, you know what I mean? Like, fuck. Imagine, like, I don't know how many people here played Dragon Age 2. I actually did not. But I know of it, and I know what kind of setting it is. The setting is essentially just a singular city, right? The concept of existing, you know, in all these like role-playing universes, you know, you have these grand adventures that span multiple locations, and you can have grand adventures within a city, you know what I mean? And that's why so much of my focus is on expanding the systems that allow you to extend the depth of interaction and like options for activities within singular locations. I want to take a place like the city and make it, you know, deep as shit in terms of interaction, and that's stuff like, you know, being able to do work for the NPCs, which is like what we're working on. It's stuff like expanding the relationship system, allowing you to develop deeper kind of connections and dynamic relationships with the people in the cities, whether that's on an individual level or a faction level. Creating more stuff in the cities, not fluff, but like real ass districts and places with, you know, stuff going on, so that you can talk more to people, you can steal, you can practice, you can do all the different things that you're going to be doing, right? So that's a big focus. It's a little bit far off in the future, but it is a focus for sure. Back to religion. I remembered. Yo, what's up, guys? Sorry, let me catch up here. Yeah, so that's all that. So these three mods, we'll say Pilgrim, IDB, Divines, and Daedra. These mods, I think, are also really incredible. Pilgrim is by Simon. Simon's mods are excellent. Simon is also like a definite friend of the project. There's so much cool shit going on in Pilgrim. It does have progression, but in a slightly different way. The way that its progression works is through a couple different perks, right? There's somewhere it says it in here, how it works. Here we go. So Pilgrim adds 2 perks to the game, Pilgrim and Cultist respectively. The Pilgrim perk is in the Restoration tree, and it governs gods such as the Divines, Ariel, and the Allmaker. Cultist perk is in the Conjuration tree, governs gods with Daedra, Mana Marco, and set this. Both of these perks have 2 ranks, one at 30 and one at 60 of their respective skills. The first rank doubles the strength of the shrines. The second rank adds a second additional bonus that you receive when you are under the effect of the relevant shrines. So these bonuses in Pilgrim are not quite scalable in the same way as, like, you know, Religions and Winter Suns are, but they do have a sense of progression, which is important for what I'm going to say next. Really fast, we're looking at IDB. The Requiem Immersive Divine Blessings is incredible because it's made specifically for Requiem. It is essentially an expansion of the Requiem kind of core divine system with the improvement that it's a lot more scalable. You will see, we're just going to spoil a couple of these. Where's a good example of this? Also, I'm going to burp. Excuse me. Excuse my impoliteness. You have a very similar... Am I, like, crazy? Where's the... Yeah, okay, here's a good example. So, you have bonuses in our IDB that are also scalable, right? this, I mean, again, this is a very important component to me, is this scalability. You can see that the scalability here is not tied to any sort of generalized like favor mechanic, which is kind of how I prefer it. It's scaled based on the specific actions that you do, which is not bad. Like say, okay, you know, RK hates undead. The more undead you kill, up to, I guess, this many, the more you get this bonus, right? Like Winter Sun Religion, they both have mechanics for this as well. I think RK in both of them actually has the same sort of thing, where the more undead you kill, you know, the more favor points. Almost knocked over my water, jeez. Favor points you get. So that's why I kind of prefer that system. It says, hey, you can earn favor in ways other than just doing these specific actions, but you can also do these actions, and also they probably have the biggest impact. So this one's cool. It's scalable. It's very Requiem as well. And I believe it only covers the main... Oh, actually, no, it does have its own separate ones. So anyway, super cool. And then you have Divines and Daedra, which is by Fornication, which is... I mean, it's like very similar. Same thing, you got the scalability, which is very important. And the reason I'm showing you guys all of this stuff is it's all a big old... Please forgive me. It's a big preamble to where I kind of landed when the team and I were discussing this, and I was, you know, going over my ideas of like the mechanical implementation and blah blah blah. We are at a point now in terms of just implementation capability where we no longer really have to decide between, I don't know what happened there, between these mods the way that we used to have to. What we can really do, and I'm not guaranteeing this would be the implementation, but just for the sake of conversation, I think, and of course, like, you know, as with everything, all the development kind of plans I talk about in these streams, everything is subject to change. You never know what's going to make it to the final iteration, or at least the MVP, and then what's going to be iterated on, yada yada yada. Disclaimer. But we really do have the capability to take all 5 of these mods, right? You jam them all in there in some way. You take, you know, a big part of the worship mechanics for religion, we'll say, and make that kind of like the baseline for favor. You take some of these bonuses provided by, you know, IDB and Divines and Daedra and Pilgrim. You take some of the deities that they offer, or that Winter Sun offers, that religion doesn't have. You can really use all of this as like inspiration, or just kind of incorporate these other blessings or buffs or whatever it is, right, across any real part of the framework. It really just, this is like the beauty of mods in general, and I've said it a million times, is this is not always the case, but this is definitely a situation where there is already so much work done by these modders, these extremely talented modders, that is so similar, or that touches so many components of our kind of ideal implementation, that there's really no reason not to utilize components of each if and when it makes sense to do that. You know what I mean? So again, that's just it's kind of a large preamble pitch for me to say what I'm going to be doing is very likely using religion's kind of mechanical framework, its framework base, to essentially, you know, have these progressive, scalable worship mechanics, and also very likely what we're going to get is different kind of buffs and ideas and inspiration for different deities, maybe additional deities beyond, you know, what's here in religion, or beyond what's in these individually. I mean, the thing about Pilgrim and IDB and Winter Sun is they have so many. I mean, again, religion has a lot of variety itself. And here's the other thing, like, in the sake of, or for the sake of expediency, I don't want to promise that, like, the religion system as we implement it in 1.2.0 is going to have, like, the most insane degree of variety. Like, Winter Sun amount, like, how many are here? There's a lot. This is a lot of deities, we'll say. For the sake of balance, probably we will not include this many, at least to start with. the key here is building out the framework and creating this sort of skeleton of a system that allows us to start out with something really fucking cool that's already going to be exciting to dive into as a player right out the gate in 1.2.0. And then, as we desire and as we need, we can add additional deities on top of it, right? To add even more variety. And of course, where it, you know, where it makes sense and where it matters. You kind of want there to be a mechanical distinction between all of the deities, ideally. That's pretty tough from a balance standpoint. So I'm also, you know, I don't mind if some of the deities have similar-ish. They should all be distinct in some sense, but if some of them have kind of like similar things, but they're based on different deities that help for like the roleplay and the flavor, that's all cool too. Again, you would ideally want them all to be pretty different from each other, but just kind of giving you some insight into the design philosophy behind it. It's not the worst. But yeah, I mean, so that's basically how I'm going to approach it. I have not really started building it yet because, again, I just got 1.1.6 to the team, and that was my primary focus, because that way I can get it out to you guys, and while you're playing that, I can focus on building this. My team, I mean, I've already showed off a lot about the jobs overhaul. My team has been hard at work at adding features to that and expanding it, and Lizzie's been going nuts with the missives. Jay's been going nuts with his faction system, which we're hoping will make it into 1.2.0, but we definitely can't guarantee it. It's definitely doing some crazy stuff. But either way, there's also quite a few mods that are more or less plug and play that I think are also going to expand the jobs system, right? So I think 1.2.0 is going to be really, really cool, and I'm really excited for it. I'm very excited to start building this out, and once, I mean, those are the two, right? It's religion and it's jobs, and when those are handled, that's 1.2, baby. So yeah, that's my whole pitch. Yes, I have seen React to Necromancy. I saw it on r/Skyrim mods today. Looks fucking dope. Oh, I did not mention the trailer. We are working on a trailer right now. It is being managed by our boy Rick, who is a just fucking film editor extraordinaire, like professional film editor. We have a lot of volunteers who have been generating footage for the trailer, including our boy Liam here, who, if you don't know Liam, he's also been building out these really excellent tutorials for Wildlander and like getting started content, advanced content. So definitely check out his channel. Liam, I'm assuming this is just the name of your channel, is Liam H Dev, right? So definitely check out his channel, and he'll of course be credited in the trailer. Essentially, we're looking to improve, expand upon the original Ultimate Skyrim trailer, which I've talked about before. I think most of you have probably seen it, at least if you came into the project early-ish. So yeah, I'm really excited about that one. And what's really exciting about that one too is that they have largely been kind of like doing that. I've had like some input, of course, and you know, you never know, maybe towards the end I'm gonna have to do some stuff as well. But for the most part, it's not something that I really have to worry about in terms of like my actual time utilization, which leaves me, I mean, it's like everything that the team does in the wider community, it leaves me time to focus on stuff like this that actually does kind of require me to go in there and get my hands dirty. Are missives improvements going to be proprietary? It's a good question, Monique. I have a running list of tickets. In fact, actually, I can show it off, I suppose. I have a running list of issues that I've made in Jira. Hold on, type. Let me see here. Why can I not filter by this type of... I swear to gosh, sometimes Jira, you are just a real peach. Okay, well apparently I can't very easily sort by this. Whatever, doesn't matter. I have a category of tickets that are mods that can very likely be extricated from Wildlander and published standalone. Whether or not the Missives expansion could be that, I can't say right now. Lizzie would have far more insight into it. Generally speaking, as I'm reading what she's saying, that's what I would say, is that, you know, we'd probably just need to try and decouple anything that's Wildlander specific. So the answer is maybe. Really, any degree of any mod or any feature that we add that can be kind of extricated from the core thing and published standalone, I really would like to do that. That's why I've been building out all these tickets. Same thing with like the sneak meter, or like I wish I could access this issue type, or like just little things even. Like I have a tweaked version of the Mod Organizer 2 theme that I use. What else is on here? I can just scroll. Yeah, there's the sneak meter. Please give me, it's like, here, you guys can see what I'm looking at. It's really annoying. I want to sort by an issue type. Okay, show full list. All right, I'm a fool. Sorry, Jira. I've been talking shit. So it's pretty rudimentary, but look what we got on here. We got Skyrim Unbound front end, so kind of my wrapper for Skyrim Unbound that turns it into almost this like questionnaire, right? You got the MO2 thingy, you got the sneak meter, whole HUD exports, and make other changes to it as well. Some other sky HUD changes, diverse character creation, lockpicking selection fix. There's a little bug with diverse character creation that I fixed. Same thing, cold region behavior, patch for college entry requirements, improve college entry. These don't work together without a patch. My smooth cam preset. So it's not a super extensive list. I only recently started kind of thinking about this, but I'm just going to keep adding to it, and then hopefully, releasing these mods standalone. I'm also incentivized to do that because I can't earn donation points as a list author. I can earn donation points on standalone mods, and also my lists can then utilize my own standalone mods. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And what was the other thing I was gonna say? Oh yeah, probably the flip side of this is that one of the issues with releasing standalone mods, or really just any mod of any sort, is this kind of not implication, degree of expected support, you might say. That is something I'm not going to be able to like support these things kind of super intensely, so these will probably be those types of mods that are like, here's what it is, I made this for us, if you can get some utility out of it, here it is, and that's about it, because we already are up to our eyeballs in supporting the entire mod list. That's not something I can reliably, promise, but I don't know. I think there's really nothing standing in the way of us kind of extricating these. Yo, thank you for 6 months, Monique. Prince Wolfchild, thank you for 15 months. I might have already said that. I don't know why I can't hear these alerts. How soon is coming soon for the roadmap coming soon? Pretty soon, Bambi. That is a big focus of mine. I'm probably going to be working on that while I work on 1.2.0. I have a, where's my like little organizer to-do list? Let's see here. Okay, here you go. This is my Google Keep account, right? So you can see website screenshots, testimonials, roadmap, mod list, hosts on Nexus. These are kind of like the top little things that I have going right now, and generally speaking, ordered more or less in terms of priority. So roadmap is right there. The roadmap is very important, and I think, and just even also to get the what's it called? The fucking, what's the word? What the heck was I gonna say? Well, whatever, if it comes to me. Oh yeah, even just to get the mod suggestions board, like out there for everyone. I think that's very important, and we get a lot of questions about it. I get the most questions about that, and I get the most questions about, is there an easy way to access the mod list? And right now we have the page on the wiki, which is solid, but it's also not linked on the website, so I don't know, I think that needs to be in there. And just like a little bit of an overhaul to the website in general. Alright, y'all, so that's 1.2.0's religion. If you have any questions for me, feel free to hit me with them. Otherwise, I will dive into the mod suggestions. Lizzie had a really good idea where she said, hey, so that you can actually make it through some of these at like a decent clip, let's... Actually, here, I'm going to take this, close other tabs. Fancy. Let's pick a category, right? And then we will evaluate. So I'm going to let you guys vote on it because I think that would be fun. Thank you, Liam. I think it'll be really cool. I think that, trying to borrow bits from several different mods is actually kind of a scary thought in some regards, because it makes it seem... There's a lot of instances for which trying to mash together multiple mods would actually add to, like, the overhead, and it still might in some regard. like trying to convert, you know, one of the existing, like I would say, for example, Pilgrim has the most different types of blessings, but even then, I bet you it's not that different. I bet you from, you know, behind the scenes, under the hood, so to speak, Pilgrim's perks or blessings probably just have perk conditions. Like, hey, if you have this perk, if you have no perk, here's what it does. If you have this perk, here's what it does. If you have this perk and you have a shrine blessing, here's the best version of it. That's just 3 scalable things. You can just change. I would bet money that the other blessings, the way that those conditions work, it's just like, hey, you killed anywhere between 0 and 10 undead, here. 10 and 20 or whatever, there. That's how most of these things are implemented. So in this particular case, in the particular case of religion, we have kind of this similar implementation across all these different mods, which makes it very easy between our coding and our Xedit, you know, skills and expertise to do that, which is really cool, I think. All right, so let's go ahead and dive in. I'm going to put a couple categories for a poll here. You guys get to decide. Say poll, question, what category of mod should we look at today? I'm going to say visuals, right? We'll just say purely visuals. We'll say, what's a good one? It could be like gameplay. I guess that's kind of a broad category. What's another good category that we can look at? What do you guys think? Let me look at the labels here. That'll give me some ideas. We could do, oh, quests and additional content. That one might end up being potentially brutal because my standards, quote unquote, for that are so intense. But we'll throw it in there. Quests, additional content. We'll say quest content. That doesn't fit. All right. Question, what category? Where's the... Ah, okay. We got 2 minutes, y'all. Get your votes in. We can look at quest mods. Yes, I promise you, if you vote quest mods, I'd say if you want to vote for quest mods, go for it. Your vote is your vote. Let your heart guide your hand. However, I will warn you that it might be a massacre, as Liam said. That is my warning to you. Oh yeah, I also did a little bit of an overhaul of our Trello board here to make it nice and colorful and pretty. And it's like a rainbow. So if you're not familiar, if you've not seen me go through these before, we've got the 3 categories of unassessed suggestions here. These come from users. These come from staff. These come from me. This category is assessed and declined. As in, we've looked at them. It's not for us. Assessed but questionable is like a maybe, right? We looked at it. Looks like it could be cool. Looks like it might have some concerns. The concerns are always outlined in the description. So we'll call those maybe. Assessed and approved. We looked at it. Looks great. Let's do it. Coming in next version. Pretty self-explanatory, I think. Same thing with successfully added. Stuff that's in there right now in the current public build. Alright, where's this poll at? Looks like we're coming down on like 20 seconds, maybe? 20-ish? Oh yeah, Monique, most definitely. That's actually why I included more quest mods in the original builds of Ultimate Skyrim. Because I was like, it's kind of, I think a lot of list authors do this, especially when we start out. It's like, yeah, like this sounds cool. And just like everyone's a list author who mods after a fashion. It's like, yeah, this sounds great. And like, oh, of course, like let's throw that in there. And it's a bunch of content that you never actually get around to even using. And sometimes when you do, you're like, oh, actually, this is not quite for me. Oh shit, all right, well, I want to see. Wow, quests and content won out pretty significantly. 59%, 34% gameplay, and 7% visuals. Alright, well, yeah, Falscar, again, Falscar is cool. It's cool for what it is. It's just, you know, it's certainly, it's like a learning project for someone who wanted to get into, and I believe who did get into game dev, which is really cool. That was Alexander something. What am I looking for? Search. Okay, no, actually, filter. Filter by labels. We're gonna select, can I search quest? Quests and additional content. Alright, y'all. So we got how many here? Quite a few. Certainly more than we're able to get through. I have some, apparently. Alright, well, we're going to start with yours. This is about you guys, right? Unassessed user suggestions. So we got Vigilant. Vigilant's a big one. Let's open that up. We all know Vigilant. Okay, DLC, and of course we got to read the user's pitch as well. That's, like, important. DLC-sized quest mod that allows players the option of role-playing as a Vigilant of Sendar. Adds lots of unique RP choices and adds the realm of Cold Harbor. Supposed to be the climax of the Dragonborn's continued confrontations with Molag Bal. Immersive and lore-friendly, may have to be tweaked for Requiem. Alright, I mean, that's a very solidly put-together pitch, right? Now, the problem with evaluating something like Vigilant, and I'll spoiler it now. Vigilant's definitely one of those ones where, like, off the top of my head, you figure if there's going to be any quest mods of this size that end up making it in. Vigilant seems to be a good candidate. Vigilant is definitely one of those, like, pretty largely beloved things, which I am aware about in the greater modding culture, you might say. The other component, though, is that something of this size, it's, you know, it's tough to evaluate, right? I'm halfway afraid that if I watch these trailers, it's going to be I'm going to get copyright struck, but, you know, it's worth it. Let's see. Let's watch the trailer together, shall we? How's the volume for you guys? Let me up it a little bit. Oh, that's too much. Sorry. Okay, well, that's Demon Souls in the background. Music, that is. Wow, okay, this was made in 2016. This is really cool. Wow, they really have a strong color palette for this area, don't they? I mean, they're Dragonborn assets. Yes, this would not be easy incorporation. Forgotten City is another likely add. Look at these guys. We got custom monsters, assets. By the way, y'all, I don't know if you've ever played Demon's Souls, but I have, and I love it. Okay, so, I mean, off the top of my head, so this was made in 2016. It looks really cool, right? I wonder if there's any videos that have been made more recently. 83 videos, that's crazy. Okay, oh, this person's made a lot of videos. Next, these are, I know, and it's like there's mods for Vigilant, so I would say, do we need another category? I think Lizzie was saying this last time, where it's like, assessed but questionable. Do we add another? Because I don't. So here's the issue with something like Vigilant is that I really need to. Yes, like needs a playthrough would be a good way of. I mean, Liz, that's basically what you said last time. What was it? It was like needs additional evaluation, and you know, we happen to have. Hear me out here. We happen to have another color we could use that I saved precisely for just such an occasion. How about this? Say further assessment. We'll say deeper assessment. I feel like that does a good job of kind of, because some of these are just so, it's like a lot of these mods, you can take a look at the mod page and go, nah, that's not for me, or like, yeah, definitely, like that's, you know, or like even what's this one, assessment, it's like maybe, but like a lot of mods you can do that just from looking at their thingy, right, their mod page. Make a little thing there, change the cover, open card, show details, no, cover, there we go. We're gonna do yellow. Wow, that really is a yellow. Why don't they let me change it to whatever color I want, hexadecimally, right? So we're gonna put, where'd it go? Oh, I need to filter again. New lands should be different from new quests. I mean, I kind of call it all additional content. The thing about like new lands is that you could say that they often suffer from the same types of problems as new quests, right? You can have it really, you can summarize it all as new content. And that's kind of a vague term. What I mean by that is like, yeah, creating a brand new landmass and creating a story, a brand new quest, both of those things are very hard to do. They require a lot of different types of skills, or like the skill set required is pretty broad. You need to know how to do a lot of different things. Our whole thing with Wildlander, right, is that the whole thing should feel like this contiguous, polished experience in everywhere possible. There should be basically no distinction between what is vanilla and what is modded. Everything should feel like it's part of the same intended experience with no kind of weird loose ends, right? That sort of thing is very hard to do in quest mods and in new lands mods because of that wide skill set requirement. The quests oftentimes, like writing is really hard. I think people don't, realize, or like, modding is oftentimes practice for other skills, game dev skills, writing skills, whatever. So people are practicing. Sometimes people are not the best writers. They want to make a quest mod that comes across in the quest. That's how it goes sometimes. But, if everything is about maintaining the suspension of disbelief. If I'm playing a quest and the quality of the writing, or not even quality is too heavy a word, if the style of writing, if the content of the writing kind of pulls me out, that's a problem. If it's like voice acted weirdly, that's a problem. All this kind of stuff, right? We know the criteria at this point. So I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of these end up in this category just because they're so large. But here's what I'll do. Let me get my filter back. I would love to get by the way, it's neither here nor there. Please give me the Demon Souls remake on PC. Please give me Bloodborne on PC. I don't need 2 kidneys. Do we need 2 livers? You can have, okay, I don't want to give 1 liver and 1 kidney, but I'll give 1 kidney or 1 liver. Bloodborne. I'm not even greedy. Give me Bloodborne only, and you can put off the Demon Souls remake for a while, and then, that's good enough for me. Where's my labels here? Labels. Wait, no, what? Select labels. Quest. Yeah, I hope so. Quest and additional content. Give me my music back. Oh, watch out. Volume going back down. Sick Bloodstained. Beautiful. We have... okay, hold on. Let me see. What's Glenmoral? I've heard a little bit about that. 2020. New mod from Vigilant creator, heavily inspired by Bloodborne. Okay. I'm sure this is on the recommended list, so we might as well listen to this too, right? I think we can safely conclude that the creator of these mods is a fucking legend. Regardless of whether or not it ends up being, some sort of crazy fit, is not... I could believe that, Lizzie. I'm gonna get a sense of it here, because I'm not... Again, because quest mods are so... not typically what I focus on. I don't know that much. Oh, cool, Liam. Man with a vision and a sense of style. Yes, I would agree. Slot isn't fully translated. Clan is not completed either. Gotcha. Thank you, GP. Man, I really got to figure out a different background for this chat, this restream chat, because I can't see any of you guys' names. Was that a blaster that I just saw? Oh, look at that. Was that like a blood whip? Yeah, I believe this is Bloodborne music. Wow, that is very Bloodborne inspired. God, doesn't YouTube just ruin the... Oh, sorry, I'm watching it small. Fun fact, this is actually how I watch most of the videos that I watch is in tiny mode. Okay, 1080p. You guys want a sick tip for YouTube uploading? I mean, that was very cool. Certainly enough to where you'd be like, yeah, all right, I got to test that for sure. Okay, so this is going... And here's what we're going to do. Placed in needs deeper assessment because it's such a massive project with so many different components. However, Vigilant is obviously a widely beloved and oft requested content mod, so I would give it far better prospects than most off the top of my head. How about that? There's some context for anyone who reads this, because this board is public. Yes, sir. Romanig Oliveira, absolutely. I will give you the sick tip for video uploading. Time passing is a big component, we'll say, of my future kind of big systems overhauls. I'm just going to say this right now because I'm feeling spicy and I'm not really saying that much anyway. And I might regret this later because I'm, to be very clear, I'm not promising anything, but I've been thinking for a long time about a very large scale systems, low-level systems change to how Wildlander functions, how you play the game, and how the game, will say, rewards you with experience and like how skills work. If we get to the point where it's like, I'm shooting for 2.0, this is probably what 2.0 will be. And suffice to say that something like the time passing for certain actions would certainly fit into that framework. And it is a framework. What I'm talking about building out here, and I'm being very intentionally vague, so as not to, kind of over-promise or whatever, but I've got some pretty fucking cool stuff in the works, y'all, so please bear with me as we continue along this project's journey together. I'll say more later, I suppose, but I really just want to get more ironed out before I, shoot myself in the foot. Okay, sick tip for video uploading. YouTube compression is really bad. If you don't know what compression is, you can actually see it a little bit. Actually, I don't know. It's kind of hard to see how it'll show up. You guys probably are getting hella compression because I'm streaming right now. But compression basically refers to that little artifacting that you see in videos, right? Like okay, here's what I can do. I don't know what will show up for you. I can do this though. Let's go into Paint. Does Paint have like simple brightness adjustments and shit? I actually don't even know. Edit with Paint 3D. It does. Don't save. Okay. Thickness. Now we're going to go Effects. No. I just want like simple ass 2D shape. What is Paint 3D even? I just want to add like improved brightness here. God, I swear to gosh. I don't have Photoshop open, but that would be... Okay, let's do paint.net. That would do it. That's probably the best way. Okay, paste, expand canvas, adjustments, brightness and contrast. Maybe luminance is what we need. That's actually not here. Hue, saturation, levels. This might help. I don't really know how this histogram works here, though. Whatever. Why is this so difficult? I need to be in Photoshop. That's my black and white, maybe. Oh no, that makes it black and white. You guys might be able to see what I'm talking about already. Hue and saturation. There's lightness. This will probably do better. Nope, it's basically the same. Well, either way, you can see. I don't know if that makes it easier or harder, actually. This is really not that important for the point, but maybe I can kind of... There we go. This is kind of helping a little bit. Kind of just offsetting. Here. So if we zoom in... What's the zoom hotkey? Yeah, no, that's fine. In Paint, Control. So this stuff, right? That's around your shapes and your stuff. So that's compression. That's artifacts. That happens, if you're interested in knowing. Basically, this is my understanding as a former film student undergrad and also fan of this stuff. What encoders and decoders essentially do is, like frame by frame, they are rendering the image. And in order to... it's a very hard, something like streaming video over the internet, it presents a very interesting set of challenges. You need processing power in order to code and decode. And there's just such a massive volume of content that's being uploaded to YouTube all the time that, they really, like a major focus for the decoders is efficiency. They need something to process all this video at a fast rate because of how much is uploaded. They're pretty good. At least as far as I understand, the encoding it for what it's tasked with anyway is solid. But what it'll do is it'll try to kind of cut corners. Frame data, like all the data, all the, what a frame is supposed to look like, we'll say, all the color data, everything that's contained in it. What efficient decoders will try to do is maintain... it'll try to basically not fuck with any of the frames that it doesn't have to fuck with. To re-render the entirety of an image for every single frame costs a lot in terms of efficiency. They don't want to do that. So it's trying to look for parts of the frame, parts of the image that are not changing that much so that it can do what's called interpolate. So it can interpolate between the two frames and say, hey, this shit over here does not change that much. We don't have to re-render this the way that we would the rest of it, something that's moving. Yes, exactly what xenomorphy is saying. All that's a big fancy way to say, hey, the more shit that's moving around on your screen, the worse the compression is going to be, the worse the artifacting is going to be. You can see this in real time as you watch a stream. We'll play Skyrim and it'll start snowing or it'll rain and everything just turns to shit all of a sudden. That's why. So that's a basic run through of compression. Fun fact. YouTube uses a different, at least this has always been the case, and it's been a long time since I've really been uploading videos, so, if this has changed, please don't harangue me, but I'm pretty sure it's still the case. YouTube uses a different encoder for this resolution, 1080p, maybe 60 frames per second, I don't know. 1080p gets a different encoder than 2K, which is 1440p, or 4K, which is 2160p. The reason for that is that the vast majority of videos are uploaded in 1080p. That's their maximum resolution. Because there's so many videos uploaded at that resolution, the encoder that they use is a lot more focused on efficiency. This is my understanding anyway. If you upload your video at 1440p or at 4K, you will get a better looking video. You will get better encoding and less artifacting and less compression, even if the raw footage is just 1080p. What you would do in that case, like what I usually do, the reason I record locally is I have on my, rendering computer, I just have a simple Premiere like video editing pipeline setup where I just plop the footage in there. I upscale it. This is upscaling, right? It's like you set the frame size or set the image to the frame size. My frame size is, I believe, I went with 1440p because I was like, 4K is a little bit overkill for these like silly VODs, but 1440p is better. So yeah, you just ups, even if again your raw footage, even if your raw footage is 720p, if you upscale that to 1440p, you are going to get the better encoder. Now, it's not going to miraculously make 720p footage look like it's true, 1440p. That you can only get by truly recording the raw in 1440p. That's going to look better. However, to me, it is still worth it. Basically, you just want to upload. Do not upload at 1080p if you can help it, because the YouTube encoder is just going to fucking mollywomp the quality of your videos, and it sucks. So yeah, hot tip. That tip probably could have gone a lot faster, but y'all know me by now. I'm not exactly succinct. Oh shit, yeah, Liam, that's exactly how that works. If you did not, and again, it's super easy. It's annoying because you are going to, if you can record at 1440p, that's ideal. That's hard because, there's a big difference like in video game performance from 1080p to 1440. So what I think a lot of people do is they upscale their footage. The difficult part of that is that you're now introducing a lot more time to your production to finished deliverable pipeline, because now you have to take this video and you have to re-render it at a higher resolution, and you also have to you got to make sure you're rendering at like the problem with introducing a second render, because anytime you're recording a video to your PC, an encoder is already rendering it once. A lot of people use like Shadowplay now, which is really good for recording. It's crazy how good it's gotten. I use Shadowplay for a lot of my stuff. You can set a variable or a bit rate yourself. Bit rate is now the other big thing for your video quality. The higher your bit rate, the better the quality of your end raw footage. Unfortunately the much larger the file size is going to be. So if you take a bit rate and say, hey, if you have I believe that this is one of the ways that Shadowplay has gotten way better at recording, is that it used to really be that like the higher your bit rate was, then the more of an impact it would have on your computer as you're recording. That's probably still true, and really I could be wrong about what I'm about to say, so don't take this with a grain of salt. But I feel like anecdotally the efficiency of like recording at higher bit rates has gotten a lot better over the years, where it doesn't like donk your PC the way that it used to, but you still are going to end up with these massive file sizes, right? And all of this is to say, if you are going to do what I'm talking about here and you're going to re-render in order to upscale your raw footage from like 1080p to 1440p, you also have to be really mindful of this bit rate, right? Because if let's say your bit rate is 60, which is pretty high. It's not the highest. You can go way higher. But it's respectable for sure. 60 bit rate is like really solid for a lot of gameplay footage. And then you go and re-render at 15 bit rate, you're going to be massively reducing the quality of your end product, because you're cutting the bit rate in by 4, even though you are also getting the benefit of the upscaling. And the reason I even mention this at all is that re-rendering footage, the higher your bit rate of the raw footage and the higher the bit rate of the higher the bit rate of the output, the longer it's going to take to render. Rendering is another thing that has gotten way faster. Actually, as Liam says here's a fun fact. The 3000 series graphics cards, I believe it's all of them. Maybe it's not the 3060, but it's definitely the 3070, the 3080, and the 3090. They all have some what I can only describe as, fucking tech wizardry, that this is beyond my understanding entirely. They have something in them that makes rendering, especially in the Adobe pipeline, like way fucking faster, like stupid fast. Like we're talking like improvements of like 70% in some cases. So a lot of what I'm saying, it might not matter for you if you have some. Not everyone has a 30 or a 3000 series card, of course, but just this is all stuff to consider. Maybe one day, maybe I'll make a video about this one day. You could see in my list of things to do, right? I had like modding tutorials on there. That's another thing I would like to kind of externalize or extricate. Is I've wanted to do like simple modding tutorials for so long, just things that would be, really cool, easy access guides to how to do some basic modding stuff. And I would love to do that for like the basic video shit that I know as well. Yeah, Adobe Coke. That must be what it is, Monique. CUDA cores, it could be. I mean, that's existed for a while, Nichols. I don't know if they, I have no idea what they did. I just know that it is there and it works, and like, holy shit. Because I used to, guys, like, I've been doing this for a long time. I was rendering videos, back in 2016 for YouTube. It used to be ridiculous. And I would, if you go back and look at like the old Ultimate Skyrim series, there, I believe I uploaded like a large portion of them either in 2K or even 4K. And I used to have these like ridiculous like rendering times. Like I would have to have these videos render like overnight because I couldn't render, while I was working on my computer, right? I only have one computer, and I have this like little mini computer for rendering and whatever. So yeah, it's crazy how much better it's gotten. You know what else is crazy? Here, I'll throw the music back on too, so I'm not just dead airing it. But what's also crazy is like I was just talking with the team the other day about, and I promise I'll get back to evaluating these because I'm starting to get sidetracked. I was talking to the team about how it's like with so many, what the original thing that like spawned the conversation is like we were just talking about how like so much of the kind of innovations that, hopefully it's not self-aggrandizing to say innovations that like our team like Ultimate Skyrim brought, and stuff of that nature. It's I remember when I was first talking about it would be really cool to have like auto installation for mod packs. There were definitely like people in the scene who were like why would anyone want that? Like, it was like, oh, modding's the fun part, or how could you even do it? It's impossible to do, or like, essentially like, why bother, that kind of thing. Because it's not something that's interesting to them, or they are like, I don't know if anyone would be interested in this. And meanwhile, I'm sitting there being like, yeah, like I feel like hella people would be interested in this, and I feel like kind of history has proven that to be the case. There's so many examples of things like that, and bringing it back to this like editing bit. And again, I hope that's not self-aggrandizing to say, but I really am proud of that. And yes, of course, standard gatekeeping. But I remember when I first started editing Let's Plays, this was around, we'll say, 2015, late 2016, one of the two, I can't remember which. I remember there was a big problem where, like, most of the video editors did not know what to do with variable frame rate footage. And what I mean by that is, like, cameras had a constant frame rate, like film cameras produce, 24 FPS, 30 FPS, usually 24. Their constant frame rate. The frame rate does not change over the course of any part of the footage. With video game footage recorded digitally, that often does happen, right? Like, you're aiming for like a solid 60 FPS or 30 FPS or whatever, but sometimes it dips below that. That's just how games work. And I remember, trying to edit these videos, and like the video and the audio would get hella out of sync because of the variable frame rate. And I would like look online for solutions, and in the Adobe forums there would be people like, I know I'm getting distracted, I promise this is the last bit. There would be people like, hey, does anyone know what I can do about this desync issue between the video and the audio? And they were like, well, why is it a variable frame rate? And they're like, well, because that's how this, and they're like, no, like, stop editing in a variable frame rate. Like, no one uses variable frame rate. It's just this entire tier of just, editors, will say, who, I mean, the innocent or, like, fine part is, like, some people just don't know. They don't know that people are doing this newfangled gaming shit. And when they finally, like, kind of realize, they're like, oh, okay, like, I didn't know people were doing that, but, like, that's crazy. I can see now why they need that. The flip side of that, like, the kind of curmudgeon-y dicks, frankly, are the ones who are like, well, no one should even want to do this, like, anyway, or, like, just, like, kind of shitting on it in some way. And, when it's gotten to that point, it's, like, not even about the thing anymore. It's about some, personal, emotional resonance that we're having. But yeah, I just remember thinking that was crazy back in the day. Like, yeah, I think people do need to be able to handle variable frame rate footage. And then now, in the year of our Lord 2022, Todd Howard, there's so much fucking internet content. There's so much video game content. All of it is, you know, variable frame rate, like in some way. It's like y'all couldn't. It's like you're the. I mean, there's always people who bet against like certain bits of technology, right, and just don't kind of understand. I feel like the vision. So it's interesting. Anyway, back to what's it called? What time is it? 1:44. All right, we got some time. Let's do. Oh, okay. Lawbringer. I think the whole idea of clearing camps for good, not finding them, claiming aspects, 50-50 immersion. Okay. Now, here's the thing. Now, Lawbringer, for those of you who don't know, I'm well familiar with Lawbringer. So this is cool. You can claim areas for the faction of your choice. One mod assessed. It's true, Lizzie. But, oh, is that from when I started? Damn. All right, no, we're going to get through a few. And Vigilance big. I do get sidetracked. I mean, I'll be honest with you guys. The vast majority of my mod assessment, there's no way I could do it on stream. I'm just too easily distractible if I was really focused on it. But, I mean, for me, it's like the purpose of these streams, just straight up, is to interact with you guys, right? And to go over some of this stuff. If you're looking, this is why I stopped like trying to do work on stream, because I'm just gonna not pay attention to the work. And you know, the reason that I do these streams is so I can interact with you guys. So I feel like as long as we're interacting and having a fun conversation, that's my priority. The rest of it is all just background, or like the rest of it is all just nice to haves, right? How much, I mean, when I make progress, it's certainly not on stream. I can crank through probably 50 of these in the amount of time that I could crank through 5, like, on a stream. Making excuses. Most definitely. Yes, stream is for interaction. If work gets done, that's a bonus. That's how I look at it. Because I also only stream, you know, it'd be different if I stream, like, every day, or if I was, like, an actual streamer, and I'm just, if, you know, it's 3 hours of content per day, and nothing ever gets done, then we'd have a problem. But that's why I don't stream that often. Yeah. If you don't normally work during stream, it's like a different type of thing. Whole idea of clearing camps for good. So here's the thing. There's Lawbringer, and then I'm assuming that Fort Takeover's framework is in here. Take Skyrim Realistic Conquering? Is this it? Skyrim Realistic Conquering. Using fort takeovers. Okay, this is what I was thinking of. So these are the two kind of frameworks that I know of for fort takeover. Okay, does not require integration with Civil War. Monauthor guide for fellow blah 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 blah. Every Civil War fort has a hidden quest allows Imperial, right? Faction takes control depends on whether Imperials. Okay, whole changes sides and you can kill the occupying soldier. Here allows any vanilla or new location. Okay. The factions involved are not limited to Imperial Stormcloaks are chosen by you, while not limited to Skyrim. Okay, so this is just, you know, a straight up framework, and then it looks like Skyrim Realistic Conquering has built upon this framework. When is the new update aimed to come out? You're talking about 1.1.6? I can't say exactly, but I mean, it's with the team. They're testing it. I'm testing it. I've not encountered any issues thus far, so once we can reasonably confirm that, you know, it's safe for public consumption, then we will we'll release it. So pretty quick here would be my answer. Let's see. Use the adventure clear location on a daily basis. See turn location and monster that ooh. Surrounding previous structures, inhabitants, resources, locations are changed. Okay. Okay. Hey, here's a video by our boy Murloc King. We can watch that. Progress. Okay, so this is implemented at specific spots, it seems. Traders, I mean, it's quite a few. Let's see here. This was last updated in November of 2020. Okay. Gotta. Okay, what happens though when you do it? Wait, what is... To an extension of Hunter's Rest once you clear the... So each one... Hunters will use the tower as a small base, well hidden and well suited for their poaching lifestyle. They will not forget their friends. Okay. Okay, so this is pretty fucking interesting to me. Because this person, it clearly seems like the goal here is to make each location like to have them be taken over by the factions that it makes the most sense to be taken over by. Which I really like. Valheim Towers. Correct Civil... Okay, so I imagine a lot of these are probably the Civil War. Let's try, like, some of these, let's try more Vunskar. Okay, Army of the... So probably most of these are, you know, pretty similar and gonna have, you know, the Civil War people take it over. Skybound Shores Watchtower, Robber's Gorge. Well, not Robber's Gorge. Yep, Civil War faction. Okay, so it's probably pretty similar in that case to... Well, so Lawbringer is interesting. Lawbringer, I would say the primary difference here is that you kind of get to choose who you kind of put in each place. Okay. Something people often brought up. Moment lets you claim several abandoned outposts of faction you support. You claim any location for any faction you like. After clearing a supported area, you'll be able to find a nearby banner. Use it to reclaim the fort. After that, waiting or leaving the fort, clear it and leave it being taken over by the faction you claimed it for. Lawbringer supports Radiant exclusions by default, so there's no chance of you being sent. For the Vigil. Okay, so same thing as every one of these places, and this makes perfect sense to me, needs to have its locations kind of manually built out this way. Is that so, Elroy? That is right. Mods like this have the potential to be a framework to Wildlander as well. Absolutely. So what I was about to say, I'll give you an example of that. So something like, let's say, okay, what probably makes the least amount of sense, right, would be like, I'm going to claim this area for, like, there used to be, wasn't it like you could claim it for your own faction or something? The Empire of the Stormcloaks is kind of like, okay, I guess it makes sense because presumably, you know, we'll just say that the Empire and the Storm, they're armies. So if there's any faction that is like, it's believable to think that they have a reserve of soldiers that are able to then come and garrison this location, those would be the factions that would be believable. For other factions, it would feel kind of strange, right? Or like for the player faction to be like, yeah, okay, so like this is for my faction, and then suddenly a bunch of like faction people are there. It's like, who are these people? Why are they doing this? It's an issue of like personnel, right? You could very easily add in some sort of mechanic that's just, you can even just do it like, oh, like if anyone's ever played Black Desert Online, right? Black Desert Online has this mechanic for capturing locations and kind of converting them into nodes that can do different things. It's like, you know, this might be a resource node. Like if you capture a mine from bandits, right? You can go to a worker manager, I forget what they're called, like in the towns, and be like, hey, I want to hire some of your workers to go and work this place, right? And I cleared it or whatever, is roughly how it works. You could very easily do something like that here. You could even have it just be a simple like menu that you pay for, where it's like, hey, talk to this guy, and you say, I want to pay 5 people to go and, you know, man this location, and then you could do something as simple as like have these dialogue options, right? Where like using this one that we're looking at as an example. By raising a banner here, you can claim this area for the faction of your choice. What banner will you raise? You could have this message box, you know, have a bunch of different options, and you only populate, or you add conditions to the options that say, hey, only show this one if I have 5 workers on retainer, right? Or I have, you know, 10 soldiers that I can assign here. Like, you can do stuff like that. You could even, I mean, with some of the stuff that's there now, and like I was just looking at this earlier today, like, this is really amazing. Like, check this out. I'm gonna go say Bill. Here we go. This person's name is probably Dylan, which already makes them, you know, the A+ in my book. Oh, they did triple triad card game? That's fucking crazy. I need to look more. But look what this person did. Oh yeah, absolutely, Kevin. That's all stuff that we would absolutely do. This is what I mean. So like, for anyone who's wondering, oh, what's up, Praxis? Well, a conversion user declux and makes the world reactive, so you never know who's in control. Yo, that sounds rad as shit. I mean, that's like, really what I'd like to do, ideally, is like organic factions. That sounds similar. So, I mean, if you want, feel free to PM that to me or just kind of, you know, let me know how it works and I'd take a look at it. Anyway, this is a mod called Extended Vanilla Menus. I'm very likely going to implement this at some point because it's, you know, just an improvement on a lot of stuff that we already do. So you have, like, you can adjust, like, sliders and stuff. Like, what if you did something like this? What if you went to fucking, you know, a fort that you've cleared out and you're like, I'm going to assign, like, a certain number of workers or soldiers, and you had like a straight up slider where you said I want this many soldiers there. Like, you could probably do all that stuff. This is what I mean, and it's kind of like a reflection of the religion mechanics where, like, with everything we're able to do now, like, it's almost like sky's the limit. That's one of the beautiful things about modding, and especially about modding Skyrim and Bethesda games. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. This one is going to be, say, placing this in needs deeper assessment because it is a promising solution to the, or promising solution, we'll say, component of an eventual location takeover framework mechanic. However, I'll say this one utilizes fort takeover framework, which is seemingly more robust than Flawbringer's framework, but that would take more evaluation to, say, both frameworks to conclude, hence the capitalization. There are also other existing, I'll say, promising frameworks in this vein, such as organic factions. So certainly, I'll say, so yes, needs more evaluation once we are building this framework. This also, like, kind of steps on the toes a little bit, potentially, of, like, we're kind of building something like this ourselves right now. Jay is. So, you know, I'm going to copy this and save. And then we're going to take that and put it, where'd it go? Wait, was that? Oh, we're going to, hold on. Let's see. Say, such as fort takeover framework. What was that one called? Skyrim realistic. What is this? one called? Conquering ticket similar points. Okay, so we're gonna move this to needs deeper assessment, and then where did that one go? Skyrim realistic. Yo, Jay Serpa, what's up? Everyone say hello. The legend himself. How you doing? This is the Trello board, at least where some magic happens, you might say. We evaluate suggestions at a breakneck pace of 2 per hour. Where is it? For those of you who do not know, Jay Serpa is a modder legend extraordinaire. Someone was asking today about what's it called? About your new necromancy reactivity mod, Jay. So yeah, that's them, y'all. Skyrim, there it is. We're gonna move you to needs deeper assessment. Perfect. Boom, baby. Right now, Jay, if you're curious, we voted on which category of mods to try and evaluate. So we're moving through quest and content mods right now, which I'm kind of particular, I guess you might say. Without. We've looked at Vigilant and Lawbringer and Fort Takeover's framework are kind of like, it's an interesting, I guess it does fit quest and additional content. You know what I'm gonna do actually? Let me refresh this. Did I not put it in there? No, is that the wrong, here. I thought I said move to, yeah, needs, what the hell? I was like pretty sure that I did. You're filtered. Oh, well, does it not? Oh, that. Well, okay. Why would? All right. Well, then we need to do this. Let's see. Yeah, I would call this gameplay mechanics. That's actually what I'm gonna do. Is add gameplay mechanics, and then I guess you can have quests and content. College of Winterhold quest expansion. I'm pretty sure that's on. I might even have that in my category, Jay. I actually have here. I'll show you. Create new label. No. Yeah, that's good. I'm pretty sure I have. Yeah, here you go. So we also have like author tickets, right? Where it's just like entirely just go through an author's entire backlog because you know there's just gonna be hella shit in there that you want to add. So this is my suggestions list. There you are, right there. Someone might have individually suggested College of Winterhold. College expansion. Quest expansion, rather. College of Winterhold college expansion. Wow, do you see what the mod ID on this one is? All 6s. Here we go. Tired of the College of Winterhold not actually teaching you any magic? Yeah, this is new. Did I add this one myself? Who added this? Does it say? No, staff suggestions. One of the team put this here. I mean, there's like a 99% chance. Oh, there's a trailer? I love Jay's trailers. Wow, long trailer. This is a whole ass game. Here, let's do this. Pause, Symphony of the Night music. We're gonna up this a little bit. Should I be hearing more volume or more audio?
I believe I've made myself rather clear.
You guys hear that?
Welcome.
Okay, yeah, there it is. I need to turn this up.
Another new student. I'm surprised at how many of you there are lately. Well, first you'll need these.
Welcome.
Also, what is that running animation? Is that
Please stay.
I feel like I recognize it.
Cast the ward spell and keep it up. Hold still. Excellent work.
Bro,
well,
nice.
I think this is an excellent start. I'd like you all to continue practicing with wards, please. All right, everyone.
Oh, thank God. It's like, yo, you casted a ward, you blocked my thing, time to go to Sarthal. Which is like, I mean, you might already know this, Jay, but like Sarthal's pretty, the whole Mages College quest line is insane in Requiem. Because mages are insane.
Good to see you.
Oh, sorry, full screen.
Ah, excellent. Very good. Today I'll teach you a useful spell that might just save your life. If you should ever fall into a river, you'll be very glad you learned it.
Wait a second.
I will teach you how to breathe underwater. This is exciting. Isn't
How
it?
did you... Is this...
Here, take a look at this. Just let me know when you're ready to practice the spell, all right?
Did you splice all this audio together? Are you kidding me? Yeah, no kidding. Wow.
Good to see Skyrim still has such fine...
Yeah, the
You've
the
given
NPC
old
idols
man-
for when you're in dialogue with them.
That's what this lesson
is
is
that
for. Perfect time to try it out.
Oh my god, what's it called?
I think
One of you
perhaps
guys
could
probably
help
knows.
One of our scholars. Ah, yes. Find Arniel Gain. Look around. I'm sure you'll find him. He'll show you what to do.
Yeah, it's gotta be. I recognize that. I mean, yeah, I would assume it's gotta be like a combo of splicing and XVA synth, because sometimes you need like a little bit from XVA synth, but still, like, that, it's like, I mean, that first one, I was like, well, yo, is this voice line vanilla cut content? 100% splicing. Gosh dang. All right, well, this is, I mean, you know, we can, the thing about
yes.
any
You
of
must be
Jay's
one of the new
mods is that
apprentices then, right?
they're pretty much like guaranteed inclusions out the gate.
Ah, I see. Well, now, I guess you'll have to come with me. Good. The two of us then. Isn't this exciting? Just north of here. It's not far, but travel has become dangerous of late. Get ready.
I did not know that you were also
Are
a
you?
Requiem user. All right, well then
so.
there you go. I
Come
mean,
on.
again, I kind of want to watch this anyway, just to see what else you get to do in it. My first quest, 7 new lessons quest. Dude, that is incredible. All right, well, in the meantime, here, let me minimize this. I'm gonna put it here.
When I
go
finish
cinema
what I'm
mode,
working
and
on,
then-
everyone will understand its significance.
This is great, like, adherence to the personalities, too, of these characters. What do you use for your procedural leaning, Jay, if I may ask? It looks really nice. We currently use, oh my gosh. Wow, my brain is not working. True directional movement, but I don't think I have it applied to
Magnificent. isn't it?
NPCs.
Please hurry and follow along quietly.
Sorry, what was the text? I missed it. Oh, gotcha. I mean, I can feel it, dude. It's like, to me, it's a testament to the
Gods, it's We're getting
design
closer.
pillar if it's tangible to me before it's even said that. You know what I mean? It's
We're finally here. Good,
certainly
good.
show versus tell, you know?
So. Yes. There should be a crystal down there. Somewhere. Please, do be careful. And, you know, use the spell. Thank you, and good luck.
Nuts.
It's critical to my work, and one of a kind. That's all I care to say for now.
Oh my god.
Yes. I'd go looking myself, but I'm working on some very important research, I assure you. The exact nature of my research is a secret, I'm afraid, but it really is quite valuable.
Sure, sure.
No, it's just, you know, ruins and that sort of thing. It's nothing dangerous. At least, I don't think so. Excellent. Thank you.
Oh my god. Alright, well, this is what I was gonna go ahead and do. Be like... Absolutely essential inclusion. Okay, move to assessed and approved. How did it know? Even Trello knows. Yes, third-person animations are coming in the future. Most definitely. I almost threw them into 1.2.0, but I don't think that I'm going to have the space or the scope. Yeah, they're called slighted? Yeah, I think slighted. Hey, yeah, there I see the frostfall bit. Oh man, that gives me the heebie-jeebies. Y'all ever have like a fear of getting trapped underneath ice? I mean, that would be pretty doable, I would say, like patching it somehow. Or it depends on like where, I don't know. I mean, maybe just leave it as it is and
certainly none of this will
make people be careful, you know?
Still, I suppose you'd better show that to Tolfdir nonetheless.
Or maybe,
and perhaps,
I don't know.
You know, there's still something to be learned here.
I can add, like, there's little things you could do, even like diegetically, like you could we could put like a notice in front of the entrance to the midden and be like,
I'll see you there soon. And
you know, warning of like the extreme danger or something, you know? Or yeah, like move the slighted or do something.
Thank you for bringing this to me. You did your part. Very good. Now, keep studying.
Yeah, Legacy of the
Only
Dragonborn is a
scratch the
big maybe. Just because of the difficulty also. Excuse me. Absolutely wild. Nuts. Absolutely nuts. Alright. Well, that one's, I think, I finished that off, right? I put it over here. College Winterhold Quest expansion. That is fucking awesome. Yeah, or you could do that. I even thought about replacing, you know, for Helgen Reborn. Helgen Reborn always seemed like pretty solid as far as quest mods went, but there's that obvious issue with, you know, with Requiem balance where it sends you into a den of vampires like first thing, right? And I always thought about how you could maybe just swap out the vampires with like some lore friendly, like weaker, or like write in some weaker reason, or some reason, sorry, as to why they'd be like weaker. It's like a bunch of fledgling vampires or something. So I don't know. Sure, totally other token. I do like that part. Well, that's crazy. That's absolutely awesome, Jay. That one is very clearly going in the assessed and approved. So there you go. There's some additional quest content. Oh my god, that's loud for me. Whoops. There we go. My beat. And that's like, I mean, stuff like that is, I don't know, it fits like a huge kind of goal, right? Is again, like additional lands and new places to go are of course really cool. But I would say like the larger overarching design goal of like the pack is to really just, there's so much that's already special about the locations and the content that's in Skyrim, like by default. So I feel like taking all that stuff that's there and just like deepening it, like adding to that depth meaningfully. Like, I think most people probably when they first, like, you know, found the college and joined up and whatever, probably thought the idea was super cool. It's just that the execution feels so lacking and bare bones. So something that kind of adds to the longevity and like the depth and just the feeling of the college, I think really it's like it's especially impactful to deliver on potential that exists but is underutilized, and I think that's harder to do when you're creating entirely new, you know, content and, you know, lands, mods, and whatever, which is not to say it's impossible by any means. Obviously there's been some insane mods in that vein, but I do, stuff like this just really does it for me, I would say. Alright, we'll leave this here. I'll maximize that. Alright, y'all, I got, so how many is that? How many did we get through? 4, 5, 6 technically. Yes, the difficulty ramp up with the Requiem College is just insane. So it's, you know, it's killing multiple birds with multiple stones, one stone. No, it was more than 4. It's Skyrim Realistic Conquering, Lawbreaker, Why do I keep saying that? Vigilant. We got this one. Shit, it's 4, isn't it? Oops. Well, you know, 4 is more than 3, or 2 or 1. Oh my god, he went from YouTube to Twitch. My man's is all over the place. He's alternate dimensions. Okay. Alright, I got 15 minutes. Well, I can get more than that. I didn't fail at math, I just thought it was more than that. Both of you making fun of my math skills. You're gonna make me cry. I'm actually not very good at math. I do it very rarely. Once upon a time, I think honestly the biggest... My claim to fame with math is that I tested out of math just with all my AP in high school, so I didn't have to take... I was not a math major, and believe it or not, when you're a film major, you don't really have to do a whole lot of math except for as your general, right? But I tested out of the general because of the AP tests in high school, and so as a result, I basically did no math for like years, and now I certainly pay the price. Doorbell time. I think I already did that actually. Or wait, filter. No. Store entrance store. Wait, this one? Just for you. Just for you. Okay, technically this is not a quest mod. Cute little doorbells at shops through Sky and the Ring once you enter the establishment. Also, nurse stealth build somewhat as the player needs to be sneaking before entering store, set off the bell, and alert any shopkeepers. I think I looked at this the other day and was like, yeah, 100%. Look at this. Bells. Yes. Beautiful. I mean, ooh, that looks cool. I mean, like, yeah, obvi. I'm gonna move that right into assess and approve. There it is. How about that? Alright, where's my get on out of here keyword? And then now we need labels. Quests. Whoops, what did I do? The hell? It's weird how that doesn't auto-populate the field or like remove it. 5 mods, we did it. The out of bounds thing, which is that? Not heard of this before. Destroying the Dark Bullet no longer means you have an entire last quest line at your disposal. Full access to all the intrigue assassination from a different point of view. What the hell? Oh, this is one. Ow! Damn it. I just like stubbed my toe on the chair. Wanking Skeever, that already puts it on a fast track. Pens after the vanilla destroy the Dark Bullet. Okay. You can join the Pens of Student Commander Mara. As a parent, you can complete the following radiant quests. Thalmor, Rogue Panels, this is rad. I would say, okay, I mean, again, so here we have another, it's when a player goes in, they should not be behind the counters? I am not familiar with what you're talking about, actually. What's up, CP? Oh, you know, we got a whopping 5 different mods cleared. Make that 6, because this is another example of a mod that just expands the depth of pre-existing content and just makes it all feel much fuller. You know, it delivers on the potential of what's there, and I really love that kind of stuff. I'm gonna say that. Another, we'll say, expansion on delivery of the potential of existing content made by Wanking Skeever at that. Most def. Save, move, assess and approve, baby. Is it looking at like the content of my comments and deciding which one, trying to guess what I'm going to move it into based on that? Because if so, bravo, Trello. That seems unlikely to me, though. Said he might be adding Undeath since I'm not a female Lich models. Oh, okay. Well, here, if we're going to go Undeath, we got 10 minutes, so Undeath might be a little heavy. But we also kind of know that, you know, it's, well, the problem is there's multiple of these. Let me go back to, just so I have the board, standard board view. Let's see. Undeath Remastered. Okay, it's not been touched since 2016. That's a problem. I was about to search Undeath, but then I remembered that I'm just, I think I'm in a place in a shop they shouldn't be. Oh, yeah, that's pretty new, isn't it? I feel like I remember that. I have seen Save the Dark Brotherhood. That's probably on here. In fact, you know what? Just for this, because I'm not going to be able to really dive into Undeath. I only have a little bit of time, then I got to get back to work on some freelance. But why don't we look at something like that? Return to the Falmore Embassy. What's it called? Save the Ice Runner. Okay. You'll need Undeath fixes for it. Got it. Shadow Skyrim. Oh, is it not on here? We'll say, what if I search Dark Brotherhood? Reformation, additional contracts. Wow, there is a lot of stuff here. Off limits trespassing. Gotcha. Let's look at this one, shall we? Trespassing behavior expansion. Yeah, this is pretty new. Spans with explicit blah 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 blah. Great halls and castles. Taking the areas off limits. Just person around the counter, the back room, and be asked to leave. And quickly, you'll be charged with trespassing. Cool. So I'm assuming this adds just essentially like trigger boxes for. Oh yeah, there you go. Trigger boxes for off limits areas. Cool. I mean, yeah. Stronger prevents teleporting and paying fines. No crime teleport. What is that? Wait. Prevents teleporting. Voice consistency fix? Oh. Wow, I never even stop to think about this. Oh yeah, Parapets would definitely be there. I mean, a lot of Parapets mods are already in there. Big Parapets fan. It's like, yeah, you know, we hang out, we talk pretty consistently, I'd say. You know what I mean? We're on Discord. Let me search if I don't have one. Oh, I guess not. Well, we'll make one real fast. Oh, well, it could be filtered. We'll know if not if it didn't show up here, right? We'll say add card, author, Parapets, and there would be a lot of like, we'll say gameplay and mechanics, we'll say quality of life. Wait, what's that? Do we have, what's our quality of life thing? I can't remember. System and bug fixing. That'll be good enough, I would say. Alright, is this one in there? Because no crime teleport, voice consistency fix. I'm going to say... Okay, well, first of all, before we get ahead of ourselves here, I'll just get rid of the filter. We can search off limits. Except for, actually, it's right here. Say, heck yeah, looks great. Save. My my watch is telling me that I've got... the time is coming to an end. So let's do it fast. Okay, no, not watch. Move to assessed and approved. Oh, that's where it already is. Okay, chill. And then teleport. Yeah, that would be my concern, CP. I haven't really looked to it in depth. It sounds it sounds super cool. I almost wonder if like a slightly pared down implementation might be preferable, or something that, I mean, probably you could do. Wildlander playthrough is getting carpeted with rugs. Ah. The classic. What's the cause? Like, man, so many different things that can apparently cause a rug to spawn. Court wizard teleport services. That's cool. Could be a little gnarly. View results. Oh, Pilgrim. Want to show up for teleport? Alright, well, looks like we have, I'm gonna say, oh, alright, well then here, I'll do one of my suggestions. Add a card. Say, off limits. Trespass. No, not off limits, sorry. No crime teleport. We'll add the, say, you gimme there. Prevents the player from being teleported when they are paying fines. Strange. Ah, that's fine. We'll say C, the add-on, no crime teleport, voice consistency fix as well. Say, hell yeah. Move to assessed and approved. Get rid of you, and then now I gotta make another one. I didn't put any labels on that, did I? I guess it doesn't really matter, but like, whatever. Gameplay mechanics, immersion. Immersion. There, and then we're gonna add one. Why don't I just put it straight in here? Let's cut out the middleman, right? No crime teleport voice consistency fix. Add card. Get you. Remove part of the rest. Come with the guards. Immersion. Excuse me. My gosh, I had a quesadilla this morning, or at least part of one left over. I got a quesadilla. You guys want to know what it's like to live in LA? I got a quesadilla yesterday during happy hour that was $17. What the fuck? It was a good quesadilla, don't get me wrong. I was a big fan, but like, jeez. And at like a pub. Gnarly. Okay, here we'll say removes the vanilla, or the portion of the vanilla guard arrest voice line referring to the guards moving you to a different location. Need to be paired with no crime teleport. Say, yeah. Move to no, not assessed, but questionable. Don't watch. Am I watching like all of the things that I move? Because I don't want to be. I don't need to watch it anymore. I know where it is. It's where I want it to be. Oh, I mean, okay, don't get me wrong. There's places where you can get a good ass burrito in LA for, you know, for $8 for less even. It's just the idea of like what I'm trying to say is, why does a place exist at all that is like charging $17 for a quesadilla? Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty full meal. It's intended as an appetizer primarily, this place. Also, I would hotly contest. I mean, I love San Francisco. I really, really do. It's an amazing city. I would hotly contest that San Francisco has the best burritos in the U.S. Southern California, baby. Y'all gotta, I mean, I see this idea. A Texas burrito would be interesting. Tex-Mex is kind of odd. I mean, it's, you know, depends. But man, I'll show you guys some burritos, some LA burritos next time you come down. That, you know, I mean, maybe you still won't think so, but at the very least, we can give it a run for its money, right? Okay, 2 minutes left. Let's do it. Fuck, there was some. What was the other one that I was supposed to look at? We got no crime teleport. We got no crimes off limits. Okay, so that's those three. Sorensen doorbells. I mean, Tex-Mex can be really good. It's just it's variable. It really depends. $17 for Burt. Yeah, I mean that's not uncommon, unfortunately. At least with a burger, it's just like hella beef, right? So it feels somewhat more justified. But, you know. Okay, one more content mod. What was the one that I was supposed to check that was, like, quicker, easy? I don't remember what it was. Whatever it is, we're gonna get one more. Or die trying. Not on death. Okay, your market stall is one that we should be able to evaluate because this used to be in here. Same name, open flea market stall, merchandise NPC. I thought this was an Arthmore mod. So I remember. So here's the thing about this mod. Ledger function. I thought so. One of the main reasons we removed it is that at the time the implementation of real names was broken by this mod, and it broke the NPC. So that was like the main reason. But also storefront. Okay, so maybe I was thinking storefront was what I wanted to add instead. So this mod, I remember thinking it was really cool, and I like the idea of kind of being able to set up wherever a little. But I remember getting really bored. Sit in the chair, store comes open while you're sitting, customers wondering price negotiation. I'm gonna put this in. Yeah, I'm gonna put this. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put this one in marking as assessed but questionable because we used this mod once upon a time, and while cool from a role-playing perspective, I remember becoming pretty bored when actually trying to utilize the mod functions. There is no abstraction or passing time, and which might be, I say passing time between for or method of, I'm gonna line break here. There's no abstraction for or method of passing time between customer interactions, which made it a little slow. However, if we could add such a mechanic, this would probably be pretty dope. There we go. How about that? Move. We're gonna say assessed but questionable. Chill. All right. How about that, Lizzie? That's like 10-ish. That's more than we've gotten before. Is the farm mod coming back? Most likely, yes, Z-Wall. I would almost rather focus on a farming framework. I'll tell you what would really make the kind of the difference is it's not that's memory, not math. I can count to 10 sometimes if I try. 9? All right, I'll take it. I just can't remember how many we've done. Also, I can't do math. For the farm mod, I like Helljarken Farm. It needs some nerfs. We have a pretty good idea of what to nerf if we add it. It's not an easy inclusion, but it's pretty cool. My issue with Helljarken Farm is that it's so pre-baked, right? I kind of prefer things that are like frameworks and like systems versus pre-baked kind of setups. I don't dislike the idea of something pre-baked, which is why I'd probably add it back in. But what I'm secretly kind of hoping for is that our boy Sacroletius is maybe working on a farming mod, which would be awesome because I'd wanted that since forever, and it's Sacroletius, so I trust, you know, the construction of it. And it would be probably at least a little bit before we even evaluate something like that, or, you know, before it's on the docket. So we'll see. As we approach kind of the time where that would be the thing to focus on, maybe Sacroletius' mod will be out. Maybe it won't. Maybe he never ends up making that and focuses on something else instead. Who can say? But we'll certainly keep it in mind. All right, y'all. It's 2:34. I've got some work that I got to do. So I'm going to go ahead and call that the stream. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I hope that I'm really glad to see people on YouTube coming in here too. I was like, why don't we do this dual streaming thing like I used to? I'm not a Twitch partner. I don't think I'm restricted by terms of service. Hopefully not, anyway. But yeah, it's been really fun hanging out. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Definitely we cranked through at least more cards than before, right? And got some discussion about the religion and the mechanics too. And of course, how to render videos, if ever you wondered. That is against TOS for affiliates, actually. Oh, cool. Well, hopefully they don't come knocking down my door. I can't imagine there's a lot of people at Twitch who really have an eye on little old me. But, you know, I suppose we'll cross that bridge. Oh, but lots of people do it? All right, cool. Well, we'll just be one of them and hope that we don't get kind of a put in the firing line, so to speak. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. I wonder how rating works with this. I guess probably the same, right? Let's see. Let's see who's online. Shall we? Pause. Big window. We've got any Skyrim heads. It looks like not. So, in that case, if y'all don't mind... Wait, no, show more. Oh, wow, there's a lot of... Oh, okay, Balian's online. See? Well, we got Charmbarian, Balian... Muffin. I mean, it's got to be between these two. We've not rated Balian for a long time, so why don't we go ahead and do that? What's he playing? Total War Warhammer? That's pretty rad. That's like some narrative role-playing gameplay right there. Grand strategy. Say, Balian. Hell yeah. Alright, cool. Raid starting. So thank you guys very much for joining me. I really appreciate it. As always, got any questions, comments, recommendations, good burrito spots you want to tell me about, hit us up on Discord, Reddit, YouTube. I guess you can leave a comment, Patreon, or wherever. Again, Habbo Hotel, MySpace, Coke Music, PictoChat, wherever, you know, we're on all the platforms. So get at us if you got comments to make. And I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. And please take care of yourselves. And I hope you have an awesome week, and I will see you next Friday. All right, goodbye, everyone. Bye-bye. Let's do it. Bye, VOD viewers.